in 2000, the year 2000, we were $5 trillion in debt. Yeah, 5 trillion. So and that's since our country started. Then we went from the 39 trillion from 2000 to now. So in 25 years, we went up that much. Why do you think that? Because the Democrat socialist rule that they want to give everything away for free. And it started with.
But the money gets waylaid into developers, and they're taking their share along the way.
Yeah.
So when it winds up, what's really left for the people, it's quite minuscule.
Yeah.
Something isn't right. Some of it's bold-faced budget lines that I would pull off the budget, but other of it is. Where is this money going?
I would say if you look at the people that get into Congress, and I would say like Donald Norcross, and he passed legislation where it was like 100. I forget what it was. It was a couple years ago. It was on my platform when I ran. It was like $181 million. All of it was funneled through his brother's firm, law firm. All of it went through there. Nothing really happened with it. And I'm not accusing them of anything. All I know is they were indicted. They beat it. But that's what happens. I mean, look at AOC. How does AOC, when she gets into Congress, she's worth nothing really. It's worth about I'm worth, and now she's worth like $20 million. How does that happen? So that's where the money goes.
I don't know. I certainly didn't get rich in this scheme. Oh, there's our Major Keith Walker nearby.
You want to come on?
You want to come on the air? He's always got a lot to say. Come take a mic. Take a headphone. We love the top hat. So I'll just give him a quick introduction. Major Walker has got quite an illustrious history behind him. He's a longtime resident of Camden. What did I read? You got a political science degree from Rutgers and then 2 subsequent master's degrees. He's nobody's fool. But they would try to make him that in Camden if they can get away with it.
Well, welcome to the Jersey Shore podcast. Thank you for joining. And we were just talking about Camden City. So,
thank you for having me.
So I'm going to... You want to go? I'll take it. You'll take a break?
This is a good time for you to interview him because you don't know him as well.
Okay, great. Awesome.
Go ahead and fire, buddy.
One second. Whoa. Knock the table down. Little uneven tables here, guys. So we're still waiting for more election results to come in. Our producers putting them up there right now. So I've been hearing rumors that they're already calling it for Mikey Sherrill, but I haven't seen any solid results yet. But again, you're watching Jersey Shore Podcast, part of the Great America Sports Network. I'm Damon Galdo, your host, and now we have here. Introduce yourself to the listeners.
Major Keith Walker. I'm the chairman of the Camden Municipal GOP.
Okay. All right. I saw you at Constance at their fundraiser.
That's correct.
Yeah, you gave a great speech.
Thank you.
Nice.
Thank you.
Nice. So what brings you here tonight?
Well, hopefully we'll have a victory celebration. But I've told everyone, no matter what, we still have a victory because we've inspired a lot of people. We fielded some fabulous candidates. Especially in Camden County, Camden City, it's quite a mountain that we have to climb. Quite a few obstacles that we have to overcome. There's still a lot of shaky business in Camden. It's a machine-run city. The economics for the residents are not very good. And for whatever reason, the people continue to vote for the people who have put them in those dire economic situations. So, there has to be. We have to be able to change the mindset, give the people some more mental food that they can digest, so they can actually see how they've arrived at the place where they are. And it is not an enviable position by any stretch of the imagination.
Well, how do you think you get people to change their mind the way they vote. 'Cause when I talk to people that are lifelong Democrats, I used to be one back in the day. But when I talk to people that are lifelong Democrats that vote blue no matter who, and I ask them questions, and then we start talking if they will talk to you, but then you start to agree on stuff. Like you're more Republican than you know. You know, you're just you have that mindset that you have to vote blue no matter who. Like you don't realize it. We have the same views. You want good things for kids in school. You want to teach them the right things. You don't want the LGBTQ stuff taught in schools. You don't want the transgender taught in schools. You know, when they get older, whatever, they can make their own decisions. But you don't. You know, you want lower taxes. You want safer streets. It's like we're on the same page, but
Well, a large part of our problem is our educational system or miseducation system. We have gone from educating to indoctrinating,
yeah,
and you know, and I explained the difference in this. When we educate, we encourage people to ask questions, to challenge authority. When we indoctrinate, you don't challenge authority. You don't ask questions. You do as you're told. And what we have is an indoctrination system, not an education system. And people are used to doing as they're told because, you know, when you're indoctrinated, it's kind of easy because your brain can be lazy.
yeah.
You don't have to think because your boss or your master, your political master, tells you what to do, and you do it. If you don't do it, then you pay the price.
No, you're absolutely right, and that's why, like I was telling Constance, that's why I do my radio show and the podcast. You know, I'm in construction. You know, I'm a regular guy, and I ran for Congress twice, and it was 2022 was the first time. And the reason why I did was a buddy of mine challenged me to run. You know, I follow politics. I have two young kids, two little ones right over there, and that's my wife over there. And I just wanted a better future for them. And my buddy tells me, he said, he makes websites for a living. He said, I'll make you a website if you run for Congress. And I said, what are you out of your mind? I'm a carpenter. You know, I built commercial buildings. I'm a superintendent. So I dismissed him. I said, there's no way I'm going to run for Congress. You're out of your mind. The next day, I run into this guy doing a job in Princeton. He's running for Congress up there. And he's collecting signatures. I said, buddy, I can't sign. I can't vote for you. I don't live in your district, but we had a great conversation. So he said, why don't you run for Congress? You seem pretty passionate. So I'm driving home on 295. I'm like, damn, that's two people 2 days in a row. Just challenged me to run. I came home, I told my wife, I said, I'm running for Congress. Sometimes I say what she says, but I don't think I'll say it tonight. It wasn't so, but then, how are you going to do it? I said, I don't know, but I'll figure it out. I did. I had a good run at it. But it's regular people that stand up that need to be informed, and that's how I got into this. I got into this. It got me into the radio, got me into this podcast because I was invited on radio shows and podcasts, and I realized that your voice can actually make a difference if you get the message out to people. You know, because I hate mainstream media because they lie about everything. So I love the fact that regular people go on there and take time out of their lives to get the message out. It's important to me.
Well, when I first ran for office, I ran for mayor of Camden, and it was amazing to me that you know, a military officer, you know, I was running against at the time. I was running against a man who had been the superintendent of schools, and he was, I think, he was in his 70s. And I said, well, the first thing that this demonstrates is that this man was the superintendent of schools, and he's in his 70s, and he's running for mayor of Camden, and that tells you that he has no confidence in the product that his school district was putting out. And but I was vilified by the mainstream media, principally the Courier Post and the Philadelphia Inquirer. 4 years later, the same city elected an individual who had been in the Marine Corps, also been did not have a very storied military career.
Damon, we got an ad playing right now. Hey guys, hey, listen, we're going to take a quick 3-minute break.
The Conservative Corner podcast. Hoist the standard. Stand fast and sail with Captain Seth Eisenberg every Sunday at 7 p.m. Eastern.
Yo, all hands, hoist the colors high. Heave ho, thieves and beggars, never shall we die. Now some have died and some are alive, and others sail on the sea with their keys to the cage and the devil to pay. We lay to fiddler's grave. All together, hoist the colors high. Heave ho, thieves and beggars, never shall we die.
Welcome to America's Pulse Network. This is APN's very own White House correspondent Alexandra Levine.
This is so amazing and miraculous. We've never had a president in the history of our nation doing this, and we hope to God that he continues doing this forever and ever. Thank you. God bless you, everybody, and God bless President Trump.
And God bless you.
Hello, everyone. This is Alexandra Levine with the America's Pulse Network. I am the White House correspondent right here in the heart of D.C. as President Trump is celebrating 250 years of America and the military.
Subscribe and follow America's Pulse Network on the above social medias.
This brother is absolutely right. He nails it.
There's a reason why American citizens should pledge our allegiance to the flag that represents our nation. One nation under God. You know why the borders should not be open? I ain't running for nothing. I ain't looking for nobody's vote. I'm not in anybody's party. I don't need it. I'm free. I work for Jesus. The reason the borders need to be closed is because when you come into a sovereign nation and you don't pledge your allegiance, it's treasonous. When borders are open for anybody just to walk in and they are not required to pledge their allegiance and to give a commitment to one nation. So the first problem when they don't pledge their allegiance and they come across the border, they bring their own nation with them. So instead of America being one nation, we become 60, 70, 80, 90, 100 different nations. And you're sowing division and discord into this nation because the people have never made a pledge to understand that even though we come from every nation, when we're here, we're one nation.
When you're right, you're right. And that just made sense.
Okay, now you're stuck with me again. Damon's taking a break, so good for him. He needs one. And I didn't catch your name. I'm sorry, sir.
Major Walker, Keith Walker.
Major Walker was a crayon eater, and I can call him that because I was in the Navy. He was in the Marines, so I can make fun of him just like he can make fun of me. If you weren't in the military, just say thank you and
Keep it
carry
moving.
on. So we were talking about him. He was on the ship. He was, obviously an officer. I was enlisted, so I would have been saluting him at any other given time in uniform. And I think one of the important things that people should know is no matter what branch you were in, I don't think nowadays, maybe I'm wrong, correct me. I don't think nowadays it carries as much respect as it did back in the day. I think people look at it now and go, oh, unless there's a war going on, big deal, you're in the military.
Right.
And I think that's wrong.
Well, actually, as I move about, a lot of people really, really appreciate, a lot of Americans really appreciate our military. They appreciate our first responders. I think that, again, because our school system does not educate, it indoctrinates. So a lot of people are left with these huge voids, and they don't know. There's a lot of things they don't know, and so they don't appreciate what it is to be an American. And I tell people, people like you and I, the veterans, we man the walls.
Yes.
And so and you have a lot of people who they bask in the security that's provided by the people who man the walls, and they're padding their wallets and all of that stuff. And when we come out of the military, some of those same people expect us to bow down to them.
Yes.
And I, for one, I'm not one of those people. So, and I'll tell you, and these are the same people, I remember for Operation Iraqi Freedom, which was questionable action.
Yes.
The Hollywood elite and all of them, they were cheering. Let's go to war. Yeah, go. Send them off the fight. Send them off the fight. And I still remember this guy. I'm not a fan of this guy, but Michael Moore. When he was getting his Oscar, Hollywood booed him.
Yes, they did. That's right.
They booed this guy.
They did.
And I remember John Corzine and all these people cheering. They're happy. Hardcore Democrats. They're happy. But if you look at the military, especially in the combat arms, most of the people are Republican.
True.
They're Republican.
That's true. Yeah.
The Republicans generally fight the wars to maintain America's maintain this American republic that's founded on democratic principles.
Yes.
And then the other people benefit from the sacrifices that these people make.
And I think, kind of in line with what you're saying, people don't understand the sacrifice that's required and given freely by anybody who's been in, me, you, anybody else, history or in the future. It's a blank check that we sign.
That's right.
That has no expiration date. That oath we took doesn't say until January 2028.
It does
forever.
not expire.
Exactly.
When I was awarded my officer's commission, and I tell people it's an act of Congress, and until the day I die, I will be Major Walker.
Yeah, you've earned it.
Okay, and I'm proud of that, and I live by my oath. And so when I have run for office, I run for office. I work for the people.
Yes. I'm
not working to pay my. I didn't go in the military to get rich. I wouldn't go into politics to get rich. And I'll tell you, is it Mikey Sherrill or Mickey Sherrill, whichever one it is. I keep saying Mickey. But this chick, this woman, my apologies. She goes into Congress, and there's a $7 million investment deal that she gets involved in, and this woman, pads her pockets, and that is, it's tragic that she would even do that. But then, as I look back, I have a lot of my running mates. They were Naval Academy grads, and I have yet to speak to them on the cheating scandal. But we had spoken about it loosely, but most of them, they were out of the academy.
Right.
And we haven't had a chance since Mikey has decided to run for governor of New Jersey. But I'm sure they would have the same opinion I have. We as officers, we have this level of integrity.
Yes.
And you want to believe, as an officer, you want to believe what she says because she's an officer. But then, when you look back, there's a thing in the academies and in the military. It's called quibbling. That's where you tell enough of the truth to mislead the listener.
We call that a C story.
Okay. Yes. And so what happened apparently what happened at Annapolis was quibbling. And that's you weren't cheating, but you were quibbling. So you don't march and graduate with your class. We'll mail you your
Thanks for coming.
yeah, we'll mail you your degree, and that's but once they get into politics, especially on the Democrat side of the House, none of that means anything. I mean, you can to be a Democrat candidate, you can swim through a sewer, come out, smelling horrible, and they'll tell everybody that's ambergris, that's perfume. Don't worry about
She's
that.
a rose. She's a rose.
Yeah, exactly.
And as an enlisted guy, when we look at officers, you're the leader. We need to know beyond a shadow of a doubt we can trust you.
That's right.
If you say this, we believe you. Do it. Don't question it. And when someone like that comes out and you find out they're lying or
That's right.
quibbling, you're like, wow, that's kind of throws everything askew because now you're like, well, I don't know if I can trust him.
That's right.
But like you said, civilians and other Democrats don't see it that way. They don't understand that really tarnishes her.
That's right.
And it should. I mean, even if just being in college in general, if you're lying about something, that's
right.
bad enough. But now you're in the Naval Academy. You're an officer. You'll be leading people potentially to die.
That's correct.
And now you can't be trusted because
right.
you can't even do something simple in school.
Exactly.
That's a big thing.
That's a big thing.
Very big. And people don't, and again, it goes back to education. People don't understand the power an officer in the military holds.
Correct.
They're a god for the enlisted guys.
Correct.
You say it, we do it, no question.
That's it.
We trust you implicitly.
That's right.
Now you can't.
And I, as a young lieutenant, and as an officer in the Marine Corps, I always told people, I said, I treat my Marines, all of them, with respect. Okay, and because respect is something that you earn, you carry yourself.
Yes.
Your deportment will earn you respect. Okay, but my Marines knew that I would ensure that no matter what happened, that they would come home.
Good.
And I knew that no matter what happened, they would make sure I came home.
Yes.
My family would not wonder. Their families would not wonder. And that meant a hell of a lot
Oh, yeah, it does.
to the troops and to myself.
Oh, yeah. Again, and I'm not making fun of anybody who's never served, so please don't take this as me bashing you. When you join the military, you have to assume a little bit of knowledge that you potentially will not come home.
Correct.
If there's an action going on or there's a war or something going on and you're going to be there, you have to assume I am not going to make it home. And like the major just said, it's comforting, for lack of a better word, to know that I will make it home.
Correct.
No matter what happens, my mom and dad, my wife, my son, my daughter, they can say goodbye to me.
That's right.
Not to a picture. And that makes the difference. And again, I'm not bashing civilians. I'm not. It's just, unless you've been there, it's hard to explain what that means.
And it means a heck of a lot.
Yes, it's
and there's a sense of patriotism.
Yes.
And most Americans have it. I have a flag hanging outside my door, our national ensign. And when it gets wrapped around the pole, I unfurl it. Yep. And I give it a salute because that flag means a lot to me.
Yeah.
That's our national ensign. That is
That's us.
That's what it's about.
Yes.
And we had we had this spat where these characters were kneeling during the national anthem. And I was appalled.
Yeah, I stopped watching the NFL. I'm done.
They lost them. Yeah, and the only reason I watch them now is because of the Eagles. That's it.
Oh no, not the Eagles.
Oh yeah, the Eagles. But go Birds, go Birds.
So let me ask you a question. Why did you join? What drove you to join?
My father was a lifer in the Air Force.
Okay.
Started in the Army, went to the Air Force. So I, kid on Fort Bragg during the height of the Vietnam conflict. My best friend, his father was the Command Sergeant Major, 18th Airborne Corps.
Oh wow.
And actually, his father introduced me to Colin Powell at their home.
Oh.
But we, Bob and I, we would talk all the time, and we talk about our fathers. How our fathers would talk about butter bar lieutenants, and they disparagingly. And one day, we said, Bob said, my dad said, I'm going in, but I'm going in as an officer. I said, my dad did too. And I asked my father, I said, Dad, why do you want me to go in as an officer the way you and your friends talk about butter bar lieutenants? And he said, you'll be different. And Bob's father told him the same thing. You'll be different. And we were. Because we had lived the senior enlisted side of the house. And so we knew what it was about.
Yeah, I think on my ship, I was on the Guadalcanal, so we were a gator freighter. I think the most powerful person in the military I ever met was a Master Chief in the Navy. I have never seen an enlisted guy tell officers to shut up or leave me alone, and they would walk away from.
Well, you know, you have we had when I was at Paris Island, we had Top Duncan and Top Duncan he had to have 45 years in the Marine Corps.
Oh wow!
And you know, his awards, medals, and ribbons, they went from his belly button up to his neck. and this man was inspiration,
right?
Very inspirational. You know, and you know, I learned a lot from senior enlisted.
Oh yeah,
an awfully lot. You know, and they can look at you and see if you're an officer that's worthy.
Oh yeah.
You know, and so they spent a lot of, you know, Lieutenant Walker, Major Walker, Captain Walker, you know, do this and do that, and sir, you know, and yeah, they gave me a lot of guidance. My father did, Command Sergeant Major Kearns did, Sergeant Major McCormick did. I remember these people because they were extensions of my family.
They're mentors. They mean a lot.
And so yeah, and you know, and our toys, you know, we played with, you know, modeled planes, tanks, ships, you know, soldiers. Those were our toys. We didn't care about anything else other than running through the woods catching creatures, you know, and throwing them at girls.
So let me, and I'm sure you've been asked this before, and I always ask, you know, because we're brothers, we serve, there's a connection we'll have for the rest of our lives. Can you explain to the people what being in the military will help you with in politics? What would you carry with you that will make you, hey, look, I can do this?
Well, one thing, the military, you gain self-confidence, you know, self-assuredness. You know that if it can be done, you can do it. All you have to do is, you know, put your mind to it. It's, you know, the mind over matter thing. And we also have an understanding. We have this appreciation. We know what's at stake. A military person is not going to rush to send our sons and daughters off to war.
Correct.
Because we know what that entails.
Yep.
You know, we don't even have to go to war. We see enough mangled bodies in peacetime.
Yeah.
If you're in the military, you know, and trust me, I've seen more than my share.
I'm sure you have.
And you know, and came within a hair's breadth of being one of them on many occasions. And you get this appreciation because you learn the fragility of the human body. We're fragile. A common earthworm actually has more natural defenses than we do. Our defense is our brain, which most of us don't even employ properly.
That is true. Do you feel that the military, and maybe it's different for officers, I was enlisted, is that I don't know how to put this. I know that politics can be very abrasive and it can be very adversarial. I know sometimes as enlisted, it can get like that when, you know, you got a bunch of the E4 mafia all together. Everybody's getting on each other. Do you think that being in the military prepares you for that abrasiveness with coworkers or other politicians?
Well, I can tell you this. In the military, you learn to be more diplomatic. It doesn't matter what rank you are. You learn that, you know, there's a hierarchy.
Yes.
And you respect that. And so some of the things that some of the career politicians do and say their behaviors, we don't do that.
Right.
There's what we do outside of politics, and then there's what we do once you're in politics. When you're in politics and you're a military person, you're like, hey, you know, we work for the people.
Yep.
And it's that simple. You know, less likely military veterans that are in politics, they're less likely to be caught up in graft or bribes or any of that kind of baloney, because they know that there are a lot of people that are looking at them, relying on them, expecting a certain standard of behavior. And so
that's true.
And so we exhibit that. And a lot of times people don't like it. People misconstrue it. You know, and look, and I'll tell you, you know, the president never served in the military, but he has that strong, powerful demeanor.
Yeah, he does.
You know, he has that leadership. And a lot of people, it's amazing to me that, you know, before he challenged Barack Obama's birth, right? Before he announced that he was going to run for president, he was the best thing since sliced bread. Everybody was singing his praises.
True.
And it suddenly changed, and then he went from being deified to being vilified.
True.
And it was still the same person. And so people have to look at that. What happened? What changed? He didn't change.
Yeah.
Okay. The media changed the perception of him.
Yeah.
And I as much as I hate to say this, I'm a historian, and there's a guy named Joseph Goebbels. He's deceased, and he's the propaganda minister of the Third Reich. And he said some things like, if you have a quality and it's not a good quality, you cast it off onto your opponent.
Yeah.
Okay, that's the first thing. You tell a lie, okay? You tell it from a position of authority, you repeat it enough, and the people will believe it.
True.
Okay? And when people say, they accuse the Republicans and the president of being far right and they're authoritarian and dictator and all that. If you look at the way the power elite and the Democrat Party behave, you couldn't look for a better model.
True.
Okay, I mean they seem to follow Joseph Goebbels' dictates to the letter.
Yeah, they do.
And it's a shame. And it's but most people, again, because we indoctrinate and don't educate, most of our people, they don't know anything about Nazi Germany and exactly and what happened and how they're in the power.
That's
very tragic.
A lot of schools don't even teach the Holocaust anymore.
Oh no, they don't. There's a lot of things they don't teach.
And they should.
What they do teach is they teach LGB, WXYZ stuff.
And you can use any bathroom you want to.
Yeah, and gender identity. And this is crazy stuff. And focusing on that as opposed to focusing on educating our young people and making preparing good American citizens. We don't do that anymore.
Somebody's about to jump on them.
You guys get it.
Who do we got coming on? Major. Pleasure meeting you.
Very much. Thanks for having me.
No, thanks for coming.
All right, gentlemen.
Thank you for your service.
Yeah, thank you for being a
Honor and
Marine.
privilege.
I like his hat. That's a nice hat. Oh my gosh, it's him.
Who's this guy?
Oh my gosh.
The guy that you gave the giggles to.
That's my job. That's exactly why I'm here, to make people laugh and then go, my God, that guy's so obnoxious.
No, I like
How are
your
you?
guys' Yeah, I'm doing good. I liked your guys' conversation. That was good. I was watching it and everything. And, the only thing that I would add to what you guys had to say is that my father was a Kansas City police officer for many years and then a volunteer firefighter as well. And so some of the stuff that you guys were talking about as far as military service also kind of was the same with him. I remember as a kid him going out to fire calls and me being in tears because I wasn't sure if my dad was going to come back.
Oh, yeah. I remember my
And
father was a police officer in D.C. And I remember times there'd be news stories of something going on in D.C. and police were responding. They'd say, a police officer's been shot. I can remember vividly, my mom standing in front of the TV watching the news, weeping, holding the phone in her hand, just crying. Me and my brother go, hey, what's wrong? What's wrong? She goes, oh, nothing. Go to your room. Go to your room. I'm fine. Leave me alone. And she would not leave that TV until my father called and said, it's not me. We're good. We're fine. You're fine.
yeah,
So I understand exactly what you mean. It's military, police, first responder. It's not an easy job. And like my father said, anybody can apply to be a police officer or firefighter or join the military. But if you're not born to do that, if it's not in you, you're not going to succeed at that job and you're not going to last very long. Either you are a sheepdog or you're not a sheepdog. And that's not a knock on anybody. I'm not insulting it. Either you're born to do it or it's something in you. Either you have it or you don't.
no,
Yeah, well,
it's so true because I actually I started volunteer firefighting myself when I was younger, and I really enjoyed it. And then I decided that I was going to go into EMS, and I went through paramedic training, and I was unleashed on Kansas City. Well, Kansas City's a pretty big city, and you see lots of things. And the first time I saw something that was really, really bad, I realized that just wasn't something that I could handle, you know. So people in the military, first responders, EMS, all that type of stuff have my utmost respect because, you know, I mean, I'm here to say I couldn't cut it, but they can,
I
and
wouldn't
those are
call it can't
amazing
cut
human beings.
that's I wouldn't call it I can't cut it. That's negative. It's just that wasn't your aptitude. That's
No, it wasn't. It
I'm not
wasn't.
good at
And
math. I suck at math. Doesn't mean I can't cut it. I just suck at it.
Well,
and
no,
I'm actually pretty damn good at math because I went into computer science.
You're better than math than me. I suck at math.
well, I contributed a lot to the police department in Philadelphia.
Okay.
Just
Being arrested does not mean you're contributing to the police.
when I was younger. What I kept them working. Their job security.
No, God. Oh, my God. My dad
That's why I
would
like
love you.
That's why I like him. He is just, I mean, brutally honest. He does. It's like, you know what? I did this, so what? You know, kiss my ass.
I was 17, 18 years old at the time. I'm 44 now, so that's
Hold on, you're 44?
Yes, I am.
So I'm older than you?
I'm 44 inches tall, too.
Where are you squeezing in a couple inches on me? 44? Come on. So I'm older than you.
Man.
Jamie's older than me. So I'm like the middle brother. I can live with that.
Yeah.
I can live with that. One of the two. I'm awesome.
Right. Oh my God. No, but I just really liked that conversation that you guys had because it did hit home for me. I just wanted to throw in that extra aspect about things, and you're probably right. I shouldn't be so hard on myself, but you know, it's kind of one of those father-son things. It's like, man, I couldn't quite do what my dad did. You know, that sort of deal.
Talking about fathers, I was hired by a police department out of the Navy. Like I did the testing, did all the stuff. They were going to hire me. My father sat me down and talked me out of becoming a police officer. He said, "You don't want to do it." He said, "He goes, I have kids that are younger than me who carry bigger guns than I do, and I can't do my job because I'm a bad guy and I'm going to get in trouble." He saw what was going on back in like the mid '90s, early 2000s before it started. He goes, "I'm going to get in trouble at one point for doing my job. I'm going to be arrested for doing my job because you don't want to be a part of this. You don't want to be involved. You can't be a police officer anymore." He goes, "I am a social worker with a gun that is just there for looks." And he saw it out of it.
Man, that is so true, and I think that my dad, if he were alive today, would probably say the exact same thing. But you know, I mean, that's why first responders and especially in my election are like so important to me because I do come from that background, you know. Not so much the military background, but you know, and of course, as somebody who's just running for a state representative, you know, obviously I'll give whatever support to the military that I can, but most of that comes from the federal government. But definitely our first responders, they are near and dear to my heart.
So I always say people who run for office are gluttons for punishment. Yeah. I mean,
oh yeah.
Why do you all want to be beat up on? I mean, I understand why. Let me rephrase that. I understand why you want to do it, and it's admirable that you want to do it, and I'm glad that you two want to step up into the fray. But why do you want to deal with the abuse? I mean, because you're going to get it. You're both conservative. You're going to catch a ton of shit.
Well, we
You know,
learned
I
here in
mean,
New Jersey.
yeah, I'm sorry.
Yeah, no,
I'm sorry.
right here in New
I shut up.
Jersey, the glutton for punishment. We just got our butts kicked, you know, for governor's race.
Oh shit!
Yeah, Mikey Sherrill is our governor.
Shit.
So if you know any deals on U-Haul trucks, let me know. But other than
Come
that,
to Missouri, we are still red.
yeah, look at somewhere else maybe, but I don't know. I'm supposed to be running again for Congress and not
good.
And I'm just going to keep up the fight. Yeah, but I just look at it because I have young kids and I see the way things are going. It's like, who's not? If you don't step up to fight for this, you know. Oh, we got another song coming on. The band's starting back up, but somebody has to step up. You know, my favorite quote from Edmund Burke is, "The only thing necessary for the triumph of evil is for good men to do nothing." So somebody has to try. You know,
So-
and
When you both run, do you set your families or loved ones down and go, look, I'm going to run for office. We're going to catch some shit. I want you all to be aware. And then, I mean, do you prepare your family for that? Do you have to?
yes, absolutely. Because when I with my wife, when I ran before, it was a hard thing. I mean, we pulled a lot of shit.
Yeah.
I mean, it was rough, especially running for Congress. And then I didn't plan on running again in 2026 until the county chair came to me and he asked me to run. I didn't have the support from GOP the first time.
That's right. You told me that. Yeah.
So, and then they asked me to run. I came home and I told my wife, I said, this is what they're asking me to do. And I said, but don't worry. I'm trying to build the network here, Jersey Shore Podcast, America's Pulse Network, you know. And I said, I'm not going to run. I won't do it. You know, and she cursed me out. And I'm like, I said I'm not going to do it. And she said, no, you've been fighting for the GOP support for so long, and now you're going to get it, you're not going to do it? And I'm like, oh, it's complete opposite I thought you were going to say to me. So that's where I'm at now.
I'll tell you what, man. Really, when it gets down to it, it's like you're right. This is a level of insanity in order to run for office, and I'll put it this way: it's like, you know, you were talking about the conversation with family members and stuff like that. Well, so my background is a little interesting because, you know, I'm a conservative guy. I really have been for my whole life. For a while, I voted Democrat and that sort of thing, but that was just mostly kind of a family thing. It wasn't really based in, you know, my actual beliefs. And I eventually broke away from that. But the thing is, it's like, you know, I came out against very strongly before I ever decided to run for office against the crazy LGBTQIA stuff. Okay, that's already a stretch. The left hates it when you come out against it, but I'm also a gay man. So I immediately got a whole lot of hate over that. And, you know, I think that my husband, I am married, realized how real things were getting when I started getting death threats on my front door. That sort of thing. So I got
Like legit death threats?
on my front door. Yeah, yeah. And anyway, so because I'm seen as a traitor, you know, and which I think is stupid anyway, because the LGBTQIA is an invention of the left. It's not reality anyway. I mean, gay people are really pretty much their own thing, and then the rest is whatever that is. And you know, and so it is an invention of the left, but because there are leftist gays, obviously, just like there's leftist straight people and everybody too, they saw me as someone who was supposed to support that thing. And I'm like, no, guys, I don't. And especially the stuff that was going on with kids and everything, I was like, excuse my language here, guys, but F that, you know, fuck that. Seriously, I'll just go right ahead and say that. You know, I know.
Hi, I'm Seth. Nice to meet you.
And I'm just like, no, that's not okay. That's not okay to do that stuff to kids. I wouldn't have wanted to be treated like that as a kid. And, you know, it's like, just let me be who I am and that sort of thing. And I think that we'll all just be fine. And anyway, I'll tell you what really got me into the idea of running for office. Let me back up a second. So I got a little bit of notoriety. Megyn Kelly noticed me, had me on her show a couple times, all that type of stuff, and because everybody's interested in this gay dude who's against the LGBTQIA. And anyway, I was kind of riding high on that, but I didn't necessarily know what to do with it. And I had a whole bunch of people saying to me, it's like, oh, you should run for office, Chris. You should run for office. And I was like, I don't know about that, because there's some crazy crap. And the thing is, I don't come from a background of someone who's been elected to any sort of lower office. I'm like jumping right into the state legislature, and so it's like, holy shit. And, anyway, I got into back in January, after having all these people say this stuff to me. It's like, oh, you should run for office. I got into this big pile-up car wreck on an interstate here in the Kansas City area. About 40 cars were involved. I had multiple semis hit the car that I was in. I was able to walk out of it. Well, I should say crawl out of it, because they were icy conditions. And the fact that I was able to live through that just kind of made me think it's like God wants something of me. And I was like, okay, well, I've been hearing this whole thing about I should run for office. So I'm maybe that's God talking to me, and God gave me a huge wake up call by allowing me to walk away from that accident. And so I decided to answer his call. So for me, it's not just a matter of a political thing. It is truly a calling for me.
Well, we got some loud music here. We just turned our mics off. But no, that's awesome, man. It's awesome that you're stepping up. No, I love the candidates that were here tonight that stepped up. Unfortunately, New Jersey is too blue and too stupid. They vote for the wrong people. But they're going to make us all suffer. So,
And I want to translate what Damon's saying. I will say it my own way. If you lived in New Jersey and you voted for Democrats, you are a fucking moron. If you're living in New Jersey and you're a Republican, you didn't go vote today for whatever reason you could come up with that makes you feel good, you are also a fucking moron. You are to blame for this.
I'll double that.
There is no reason that the Republicans lost other than laziness. I guarantee when your numbers come out for Republican voters, it's going to be like 31 or 32% again.
Yeah.
No one showed up. Everybody stayed at home because they thought their neighbor was going to do it. And then now for the next 2 or 3 years, they're all going to complain, oh, the Democrats are screwing us. I wish somebody would do something. Shut up. You had a chance tonight to change things. You had a chance tonight to make your voice heard, and you chose not to. I don't want to hear any complaints from anybody again. You had a chance, and you let it pass you by. Democrats are the party of destruction, death, and mayhem.
Yeah,
that's guys, I want to say I'm so very sorry to see what has happened in New Jersey and what it looks like is going to also happen in New York City. And also, we saw that Virginia also decided to go Democrat as well. So, I mean, this is a, quote, great night for Democrats, I guess. But some of the problem that I think, if I'm just going to offer some candid opinions on what's going on here, I think there's a little bit too much division within the Republican Party, and I think that we're, at least in my state, they're doing. There's not a great unified voice, I guess. Like, for instance, we have this thing coming up at Amendment 3, which will limit abortion, because right now Missouri has, I think, the most liberal abortion laws in the country. You can literally have abortion up till the time of birth, that sort of thing. I think that a lot of people misunderstood what the original ballot measure was about, and they voted for it, and that's why it passed. But now we have a chance to maybe go at it again. And what it does, the ballot measure that is going to be coming up next year when I'm actually running, is going to make it so that there are some exceptions as far as like rape, incest, life of the mother, that type of stuff, written into it. But now I'm already seeing people on the Republican side complaining about it because it doesn't live up to certain biblical standards, or it doesn't, it doesn't go far enough, or whatever the case may be. And, I'll agree with that. I'm not disagreeing. It's not perfect, but at the same time, it seems like it's a step in the right direction from where we're at. So if we are already a year ahead of this, already divided as Republicans here in the state of Missouri on this issue, I see. I'm not sure what to see. I really can't, because I'll probably get in trouble if I
Well,
say what.
I'll tell you one thing about Republicans. Well, Democrats, number one, they're, there's no common sense. They're going to ruin this country. They're going to ruin. They're going to burn it to the ground because it doesn't make any sense. Nothing they do makes sense. But I will say, Republicans, same thing. Because Republicans, even though we are the party of common sense, I would say, but it's not common sense to run fast forward and face first into a tree, because that's what they'll do. And they're divided, and they won't stand together like Democrats will. Even though they're the wrong party and they're going to ruin this country, they know how to stick together, and they'll go down on that ship together, and they don't care. Republicans could do something better, and they don't. Like I said, they'll run face first right into a tree every single time they have an opportunity to capitalize. That's what it is.
I think that another problem, speaking of, like, agreeing with Damon, is we have the black Republicans, the young Republicans, the female Republicans, the Republicans with purple hair, the Republicans with nose rings. There are so many factions in the Republican Party, it's ridiculous. We need to get back to just being Republicans. And nothing else should matter. I'm a Republican, and that should be the end. We don't need to have all these different little cliques, because they can't agree on anything. They're always right, you're always wrong. Get rid of that and just be Republican. Get back to just the basics. And I think that'll solve a lot of the problems. But as long as we divide ourselves into boxes or races or haircut, whatever, we're never going to be together, and we're not going to be able to win anything substantial. And everybody keeps going, well, look at Trump. Trump's the greatest. Trump is one man who's fighting his own party and fighting the Democrats. We can't even agree with the president. Most of the Republicans can. You got Marjorie Greene Taylor, who all of a sudden, I don't know if she got hit in the head with a brick or if she's taking mushrooms. She's lost her shit. But that just shows that Republicans can't get on board. Like you were saying, the Democrats can. They will all together. And when it comes to mobilization, Democrats can get together in a heartbeat. If they say be here on Tuesday at 1 o'clock, every Democrat in the area will be there. You say that to Republicans, you get 31%. We'll try to be there.
Yeah, I just can't believe it. It blows my mind, man. 31%. I didn't even look at the percentage for tonight, but I guarantee it's somewhere around there. It was like that last time. It happened in the presidential election. It was like 30-some%. And Trump almost won New Jersey. Well, almost, I'll say. 5 points. He lost 5. But if we had 42%, 41% that came out, we would have won.
Guys, we definitely need a more unified front. That's for sure. So there's going to be differences among our party and stuff like that. And obviously that's going to happen because you're dealing with like millions of people. So people aren't going to agree on everything. And that's fine. But, we need to come to some common ground, figure out shit, and get our shit done. And and that's kind of what I'm about. It's like, let's just get some shit done. I mean, chances are, there's going to be a lot of people who hate my guts on both sides, just for the simple fact that, I'm a complete outsider. I'm a gay Jew running in a very Christian state. It's like, no one's going to like me. But if I am elected, I'll just put it this way. I'm just about like, let's get shit done. Let's put together a unified front and not have these battles out in public and all that type of stuff. I mean, we can have them, among our local committees and various counties and stuff like that, and then come to some sort of idea or whatever the case may be. But, um, I think here's the thing. I know you guys probably feel a little bit defeated tonight in New Jersey, and I can totally understand that. But I think that there is a path forward for Republicans, because, if you can convince a guy like me to be a Republican, which I absolutely am, then anybody is open to this for sure. So we just need to do a better job of maybe educating people and that sort of thing. And that's actually kind of what I'm talking about with the Amendment 3 thing here in Missouri. It's like, okay, so the pro-life crowd is like, sure, you're not getting everything that you want. All right, well, maybe educate people as to why your position is right and that sort of thing, and then we can maybe move forward. So yeah, I think there's a lot of education, a lot of information that needs to be going out that's not really going out to people, and hopefully candidates like us can make a difference and just be like, okay, we're not the typical Republican, we're not the typical politician or whatever. We're just, dudes who want to make a positive change in the world. And I think that, we can advance those messages so that people start seeing things the other way. Because I'll tell you what, and one last thing, and I'll shut the hell up. One last thing. I am good friends with a woman named Jamie Reed out of St. Louis, Missouri. I don't know if you guys know who she is, but she's the big whistleblower who blew the roof off of the gender clinic that was going on in St. Louis, where they were performing medical procedures on children in order to change their sex. And she described herself as to the left of Bernie Sanders. I'll tell you what, Jamie Reed and I get along just fine because she understands exactly where I'm coming from. I know where she's coming from. And I'll tell you what, I think that I may have actually pulled her further right. She might be a Democrat now, not a socialist. But I pulled her further right.
I think another important thing is, and I'll do a shameless plug here, podcasts like Damon's and mine and our network are important because we're not so much worried about making sure our sponsors are happy, making sure that money keeps coming in, making sure the bigwigs are happy. We're more concerned with the truth and more concerned with making sure that we're understood and that the point is made. I don't care who I offend. I don't care who I piss off. I don't care. As long as I'm being honest and I feel like I've done a service to somebody, like, Democrats suck. It's not my opinion. That's a fact. You can look at anywhere they've been. They suck. And if that offends people, you know what? Be offended. I don't care. And people need to support networks like this and support people like you and Damon and everybody because we're what needs to be. You need to get away from Fox News. You need to get away from CNN. You need to get away from MSNBC. They're in it for money. And like the old saying goes, if it bleeds, it leads. They don't give a shit. They're there for sponsorship and for money. We're just there to make sure that our opinion is heard and that the facts that need to be heard are heard. Other than that, we don't care. Like I've always said, we are not here to change your mind. I'm not here to force you to follow my train of thought. I'm here to give you my opinion, share some facts like Damon is, and then make you think. And if after you think I'm an idiot, well, get in line, sweetheart. That's a long line. But at least you thought.
Right.
And at least you heard me, and now you have a different train of thought that you can fall back on. And I think that's what we need to go through forward as a society. Is just because someone has a reporter in front of their name, or anchorman or anchorwoman, doesn't make them right. Just because they're on TV on MSNBC or NBC doesn't make them right. That's we need to get away from that and get back to just like I said before, everything starts at grassroots. Everything. Podcasts are grassroots. We're just here. He has a job. I have a job. You have a job. This is not what I do for a living. This is what I do when I have free time. And that's all it is. And so I have nothing to gain. I can't get that big Nike sponsorship if I don't talk about China.
They never called you back, Nike?
They did. They told me to say that. But yeah, we're just here to help people think, not to guide, not to steer, not to indoctrinate, just to go, hey, this is another thought. What have you thought about this? Or have you looked at it this way? And that's all we're trying to do. And that's why we need people to get involved. Like and follow us. Not just me or Damon, any podcast. Well, not any, because there's some fucking nuts out there now. But just follow.
Like Nick Fuentes.
Oh my God, I want to punch him in the mouth. Yeah. And then while I'm doing that, I want to.
By the way, as far as Nick Fuentes is concerned, can I just say one thing? As a Jew, he thinks that evidently I have all the power in the world.
Yeah,
and I would just like to know where that went, because I evidently missed the train, because I've had to work for everything in my life.
Yeah, I asked my dad. He's a Jew. I said, "Hey, Dad, we're supposed to control the media and all the money. Where's our money? It's not in my bank account. So where the hell is it? Give me a little bit of it." But yeah,
I know.
If you're watching us now, like us, follow us, and share us. Follow him. Follow Damon. Get involved. And if all you can do to get involved is to follow us and like us, that's a start. Because Damon, me, Alexandra, Elena, Tim will fire you up enough to get off your butt and go do something. Even if that something is just a vote. That's something. That's a start. We're not asking you to change the world. We're not asking you to go run for office. We're not asking you to donate billions of dollars to candidates. We're just asking for you to get off the sideline and play one down. Make one play. That's all we're asking. And after you do it once, like you're going to want to do it again. Like, hey, today I went to a Board of Education meeting. It was great. Now I want to run for the Board of Education. I think I could do something. It takes one step, and then before you know it, you're running a marathon. And that's all we want to do is get you to take that one step. Even if it makes you go against us, fine. Get off the goddamn sideline. Don't observe life, participate. That's all we're asking you to do.
Well, I almost feel bad for those kids.
Amen.
Because they're going to have a rude awakening when you're on the Board of Education. There's going to be some discipline in there. I would say that. But we're coming up at the end.
Oh my God.
We're coming up to the end here.
I'll tell you what, guys. I mean, just one last thing. I mean, boards of education are the worst things to ever have to deal with. I've been before many of them, and they just sit there and look at you. And I'll never forget one time I was actually reading from one of their LGBTQIA books that was talking about like a kid giving a blowjob to another one. And I read it out exactly as it was, and I actually got gavelled. Like, no, you can't say this at a Board of Education meeting. And I was like, that's kind of funny because this is the bullshit that you're pushing on kids.
Yeah, it's unbelievable. But we're wrapping up here. It's the end of the party. They're going to be throwing us out soon. But thank you for coming on. I really appreciate it.
It's not the first time I've been thrown out of a bar.
Thank you for driving all the way up here.
My pleasure.
Conservative Corner. Come here to be on the Jersey Shore podcast. Again, this is the Great America's Pulse Network. And I'm going to just leave it with this. This is my last line. And Seth, you can end whatever you want. Anybody in New Jersey that voted Democrat, you're fucking stupid. That's it.
I want to thank Damon for having me up here. I want to thank the old Damon for not falling asleep watching Murder, She Wrote tonight. That's awesome. He stayed up this late. I'm proud of him. Thanks for joining us tonight, man. It was good seeing you again. And you got to come back on the Pulse with us so I can talk some more shit and make you laugh. Thanks for
just guys, it's barrettformo.com. Put the www in front of it. It doesn't work otherwise. But yeah, if you want to learn about me.
Oh, definitely. And I want to thank Elena for coming on for the show. I mean, I wasn't here. She got off when I got here, so I'm going to have words with her.
She did it on purpose.
I know. It's because I'm Jewish. I know exactly why she did it. She's a Nazi.
I know. I'm very good friends with Elena too, and she hates me for being.
I know she's a closet Nazi. I know she is. But I want to thank Damon for having
She's
me.
gonna kill you.
She's
guys.
gonna kick my ass. I know. I'm afraid of her. She scares me.
I am too.
But I want to thank Damon for having me. Jersey's an awesome. I mean, I've never been to this part of Jersey. It's awesome. I'm glad I got to come up. I'm sorry Jersey took it in the butt tonight. I mean, that's ridiculous.
Yeah, it feels like we all did.
But like Damon said, if you voted for Democrat, you cannot bitch at all for until the next election cycle. You have to be quiet. I know you won't because you're a Democrat, you're a liberal, and you're fucking mental. So you're going to complain, but you can't. But yeah, thanks for having me. I appreciate it, man. It was good meeting you in person.
Thank you for coming on the show, buddy.
Not so much him.
I know. Fuck me, right?
No, not you. He was talking about our producer.
I'm talking to the other Damon. He's an old guy, and he probably doesn't know we're talking about him because he's probably worried about jelly donuts. But I had fun being here. It's great. And Damon has this show. Make sure you watch his show. Watch us both on Wednesdays at the Pulse. Watch me on Sunday. Watch me have a heart attack live on TV or on the podcast. It'll be awesome. Watch me vapor lock and do the 9mm mambo on the ground. But really, like and share us because the louder our voice gets, the more they have to pay attention to us. They'll have to stop ignoring us, and that's the only way we're going to win.
So, all right, everybody, this is the America's Pulse Network, Jersey Shore podcast. And one thing we are sure about, that everyone that voted Democrat is a fucking idiot. So, signing off.
Generation fighters, take